Today we are shooting this lighting setup with 6 different cameras on 3 different formats in digital and in film. Let's go! Everybody knows that the best way to learn is from failing yourself. Or you can watch somebody fail. Today what I'm going to do is go through, talk about what went wrong, and then talk about what worked for the ones that came out good. But just know, I know. If you're watching this and you're like, man, that was dumb. I know. That's why I'm making this video. All right, this is our lovely model, Jacob.
Wow.
Up there we have a continuous light with a snoot, and then it's down and it's hitting this mirror, reflecting right back up into his face. So this is a one light setup, but we've got 2 different directions of light. And then we are also using a can of haze, which is lovely, huh? But it just helps the lighting look more cinematic, and it works great. All right, so let's talk about the setup first. I actually really like most of the things I did here. If I were to change it, I would make sure that all the walls in the hallway were more blacked out. Maybe put some black paper or muslin, whatever I had lying around, so they're easier, and it would require less photoshopping to make sure they look good. Okay, so we shot on Polaroid first, and it looks like trash because the flash went off. So this is a great one. I'm shooting on an older Polaroid. This is the Polaroid I have. I also have this one, which is my wife's. It doesn't actually have a flash, so a lot of the images are pretty blurry unless you're in the direct sun. And then this one does have a flash, and a lot of the images actually turn out pretty dark. But obviously shooting on an old Polaroid will result in maybe not the best quality, but the newer stuff that they have that came out, you can actually connect to an app, you can adjust your lighting ratios better. So if you're interested in shooting any Polaroid, I would highly recommend looking into the new ones. These are just, I'm never taking any images from those too seriously, which is kind of the point of a Polaroid. So the second camera we shot on is a Olympus Tele, a point and shoot film camera. I've got Portrait 800 in there, and I shot it on the 75mm lens. I love this point and shoot. I think it's a great point and shoot. This is the image we got. Obviously, I did not have Portrait 800. I think the main problem is I didn't know what film I had loaded. That's something I've gotten a lot better at marking. And this was a really good learning experience for me. Mark your camera to know what film you have in. This also helped me out by showing me that this specific point and shoot meters for the highs. We had some really hot spots and some really dark spots. This one made sure that those hot spots were not overexposed, but made the entire image almost completely black. The next camera is a Canon FTB, and we're shooting it in the same position on the tripod. I actually don't remember what film I had, so I'm just exposing it for 400 ISO. This specific Canon that I don't think I have anymore doesn't have that slot in the back to put the top of the film box. You know, it's worth it just to tape that on there. I actually still don't even know what film this is. I think the ISO was probably a little bit lower than that. It was probably like Kodak Gold, like 200 ASA or ISO, whatever. It didn't come out too bad because the lab was able to push it a little bit. But yeah, this one didn't turn out too bad. You know, it's fine. We shot with my Sony a6500 at 1.8 with a 35mm lens. So obviously these are gonna be the best photos from the shoot because I didn't know what I was doing with film. I still kind of don't, but you know. But if you're coming from digital, I think a really important thing to do is set up the lighting, set up the shot with your digital camera. Take some sample photos, see how the exposure looks, see how the framing looks, then use that information when you're bringing in your film camera, and it will make the entire shoot better. Because you've already learned that maybe this f-stop is not deep enough focus, or you need more light. If I had done that, it would have improved most of the other photos. Oh, and then we also just shot with this phone. I had mentioned I took a couple pictures with the iPhone. I'm consistently impressed with those cameras. Frequently in broad daylight, I prefer them to the Sony. I'm not shooting RAW. I'm not shooting with anything that captures without the neural filters. Those filters and stuff that's built into the iPhone to like bring the sky back into exposure, and it's doing like a crazy HDR. I really like those. They're super low effort. It's kind of replaced the point and shoot digital camera for me. Let me know if you want me to do like a full process video for the iPhone and go over what I do, but yeah, let me know in the comments. And lastly, we've got the Minolta P 35mm point and shoot that is panoramic, and I forgot what is in this as well. So clearly I was rushing this photo shoot. I can't believe I didn't know what film was in there. It was expired Fuji didn't work. Expired film is definitely not a film you want to underexpose, or I mean any film you don't want to underexpose. This super didn't turn out. And again, just didn't know what I had in the camera. And then finally the RB67, the only medium format camera from this shoot, and the only one I forgot to film. Here's the image. It might be obvious what I did wrong here. Again, I was rushing. The next morning, I took the RB67 out and I did not advance the film. And I got genuinely a cool double exposure. I actually really like it, and a lot of other people thought it was really cool. But still, I would have rather had like a clean image, at least one. This goes to show you gotta remember to advance your film, and I've gotten a lot better at it. Yeah, I mean, I think this image is sick, but it was an accident. I didn't mean to do this. If you've been watching this video and wondering why the room is such a terrible mess, it's because this video is about being genuine, showing your faults, and learning from them. And I didn't want to clean the room because I threw my back out yesterday. So this is what you get. That's what you got. Anyway, I intended on making this a video, so I did make it a video, even if it just kind of shows a bunch of failed images. The next one will be from a project that I'm super stoked on, so it'll balance out. Bye forever.